Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us to the end. On our Knowledge Seeker, today I'm your host for the evening. My name is Badun Das. I'm from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I'm proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and ISFP International Educational and Training Institute. In last years, we already served 35 million plus Knowledge Seeker from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 2,500 plus organization. In Institute of Global Professional is an education that covers several critical and important. We serve student community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective in case one skill just by for informal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate profession generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally to student, job seeker, job holder, and also for learner. The respect factor. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institute from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinar, seminar courses, our quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like trade on portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, download for gathering general knowledge which can update all day, kids learning game, website, free course, converse sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement our training program webinar and offline online courses for youth learner by professional trainers, speaker and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by global renowned professionals who develop all kinds of people to promote the education of the abilities and personal speaking knowledge is crucial for the study of global professional. We believe that knowledge is level, light, and vision. So we try to understand each of the generation and will serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learner represent more diversity, growth, and innovation are referred to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. As a member of community, and improvement. So the individual who seek information can improve their skill level and hello. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. The support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. The support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, we will continue support. Already completed 2,158 webinars successfully. Moving to the next, we will continue support. We already completed 2,158 webinars successfully. The IGP speaker, participant, and well wisher at this moment is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On this website for everyone who will be benefited. We already launched a new website where you can find all our previous activities together with a feature. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our service. So create your account for once with proper information. Note that with proper information, you'll enjoy all feature with dispense data, you cannot do anything here. From now, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace slide, you have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified certificate. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session, we will not provide you any code for certificate. Certificate otherwise known, but you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you're an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificate, speakership certificate. If you're a host of IGP, you can download the certificate of gratitude. If you're an online life quiz competition winner, you can download the certificate of participation. If you select for lifetime membership, then you can download the certificate of membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in an award function which organized common support with IGP, you can download that also. You can CPP and download edit extension certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Efficiency in the Pandemic. Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities in the Pandemic. Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge in 2021 and 2022. Certificate of Participant Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching English for Language and Assessment. Certificate of Participant Webinar Series 2, Digital Classroom Engagement 2. Certificate of Participant Webinar Series 4, The New Trend in Education. Certificate of Participant Webinar Series 5, Physical Social Leadership and Management Skills. Certificate of Participant Webinar Series 6, Trend and Innovation in Mathematics Education. Certificate of Participant Webinar Series 7, Research Comprehension Approach. Certificate of Participant Webinar Series 8, Art in Teaching and Special Programming in the Arts. Certificate of Participant Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Turing Teaching Mathematics. Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador. Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare now within a minute. From now on, you can start your journey can participate in 1000+ international level quiz verified certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, education tools for teacher. You can join us. You can check out our replacement service website for free and many more. Dear Ajit, will wish to promise previously, but lack of technical problem, you late sending on time. So, data which they collected previous condition. Solve all issues from our website. Now we can enroll resources. Then we can check all button and pages on our website. Should like answer to benefited. Thank you, but note that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy ourselves. At present, we are going to start our 2159 webinar, which name is School Reform, and today our speaker name is Samia, Dr. Samia Ismail Sheikh. She is from Palestine. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker, I'll share a little bit about her. Manager in Ministry of Education and Higher Education. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Hello, ma'am.
Okay. Hello. Hello, everybody. You hear me? Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
ma'am.
me? Okay. Thank you
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much.
I
Thanks.
can hear you. Ma'am, the stage
Okay.
is your,
Shall I begin?
your presentation.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Then, good morning, good afternoon for everybody all over the world. It's very nice to meet you again this month. I'm Dr. Sami Skik. I'm a manager in the Ministry of Education and Higher Education in Palestine. And so sorry, I can't show you my picture because the internet is very weak in Palestine here. First of all, I want all of you to pray for my family and all the Gazans people because they are suffering from the savage attack of the Israeli occupation. Um, uh, my um, my lecture today is entitled School Reform. Educational reform implies questions of social production and of state regulation that are the key words in educational reform, education and educational policies. These reforms are always on the political agenda of countries and involve um, international organisms, since education is a vehicle of development for social progress. A point of departure is that all reform incorporates a certain level of consensus on the part of the actors involved, but that would be an ideal which rarely occurs, and then only when there is a national or regional vision. The objective of education reform is to fulfill the worldwide commitments made on the subject of education. When speaking of the educational reform, reference is often made to changes and transformations in the scholastic system in relation to such factors as educational philosophy, student policy, curriculum, pedagogy, didactics, organizations, management, financing, and links with national development in this century. The consensus um, that the prime purpose of education is care for and improve holistic education in early childhood, especially for the most vulnerable and underprivileged children, and to guarantee access to free, compulsory, and high quality education. The present my paper here, or my present lecture, attempts to review some of reflections made by the researchers and by teachers on some aspects of the dynamics established to take address to educational or school challenges at present in my country and all over the world, recognizing among them some facilitating aspects and some obstructive aspects, which in turn affect the course of reform in our country or the Arab countries or all over the world. When we talk about educational or school reform within the field of education, reforms of education are undoubtedly one of the most complex and controversial subjects because of the effects that they generate in the societies and countries when they take place. Nevertheless, the situation makes it possible to investigate the reasons why such reforms generates substantial changes and in the school systems where they are applied. The present or my present lecture takes as its subject the analysis of great educational reform actions or across the world in order to relate some of the main lines of development when the curricular design is changed and the consequent curricula when the system as a whole is modernized, imposing more agile, the effective dynamic for institutional operation when decentralizing the central bureaucracy, when an attempt is made to raise the general quality of education in order to improve the academic yield of students and reduce school failure, when an attempt is made to adapt educational formation to the demands of the labor market, when changes in pedagogical styles are introduced for educational reasons, when there is a wish to transform the institutional cultures of the schools, when the intention is to improve the organization and institutional management of schools. It is not possible to avoid the fact that the reforms arise in a historical, social, economic, and political context. Consequently, it is important to consider this when designing, implementing, evaluating, or analyzing reforms. For Bob Kiewitz, he said that education reforms imply questions of social production and state regulation, which they in turn construct reforms. Reforms that then depend on a discourse that often remains hidden or implicit and that determines our way of looking at the school world, visions, and produce social values and relationships of power that are not neutral. And the purpose of education reforms or school reforms is to transform school structures with the aim of raising the quality of education in a country. If we want to know something about the objectives of school reforms or reforms and their objectives, educational reforms deserve a holistic examination of their reasons, objectives, application, and results generated by those within the school systems where they are implemented. These reforms are always on the political agenda of countries and the international organizations involved in their design and application in relation to one view of development and the worldwide conception of education. Nobody would deny that the strategic nature of education as a vehicle for development and social progress. Worldwide discussion of the subject does not focus on the point, but on the effects and the results of reform in terms of policies and economic of social development, as well as on the implementation, financing, quality, and effectiveness, which is or desired by all the actors involved in this transformation for forming vision. This contribution is developed from a review of the policies, um, continental programs and realities that are necessary to understand the present situation and to glimpse future of reforms in the education of present century. It is important to understand the object or intention of the education reform or school reform which normally focuses on certain common factors such as quality, access, equality of opportunity, finance, management, effectiveness, efficacy, and competitiveness in the school systems of primary, secondary, uh, tertiary and non-university education. In the same way, it is important to understand the type or model of reform according to the intention that drives these processes at the regional or global level, adding to the complexity of implementation and generating barriers that can prevent the attainment of goals. In this context, a number of authors have worked on these questions. And finally, reforms that originate in or are influenced by the worldwide consensus on education generate educational products and somehow eclipse the degree of success or failure of these reforms in a particular framework of frame and management. When speaking of education reform, one speaks of changes and um, transformations in the school system involving such factors as educational philosophy, student policies, curriculum, pedagogy, didactics, organization management, finance, and their links with the development of the nations. In relation to this last point, the worldwide consensus around the for reforms of the education and their links to development is almost total and influence all educational reforms in the 20th century. This is confirmed by the consensus nature of many of the relevant treaties relating to education, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Convention of the Rights of the Child, the Worldwide Declaration on Education for all. There are many treaties according to school reform. In the 21st century, this worldwide consensus on lifelong education continues as can be as can be seen in the darker framework for action on education for all and the Millennium Declaration and Millennium Development Goals in the year 20,000. These agreements on education were promoted by international organizations as a unifying focus for the educational policies directed to all the regions of the planet, but were directly addressed mainly to the developing countries because of their lack of organization and funding, among other things. From the point of view of the development countries, these reforms unfolded with educational actors in these nations. These demands were taken up with certain effectiveness due to the strength of their school systems that could respond to such pressures appropriately to the needs of the prevailing economic system, which saw education as a vehicle for the development. About the causes and origins of educational reforms among the processes of transformation that result from routine actions of the actors in education, a differentiated situation emerged. On the one hand, some institutions began to develop a process of developing greater institutional autonomy, as a result of which they began to make decisions about curricular and educational aspects that in some cases can be described as producers of equality and fairness. On the other, perhaps greater number of institutions consolidated the traditional styles of operation that ritualized the fulfillment of activities and lost any sense of their purpose, contributing to the deterioration of quality. Nevertheless, and in spite of a variety of circumstances, it would seem that in all the countries of Latin America, for example, it is the nation states that they are causing, articulating, leading, and determining the new processes of regulation and configuration of educational systems in the form they have maintained over time. The, and the industrialistic and other actors in the sector are more influential than the politicians who propose reforms in an erratic and discontinuous cycle. At certain times, they worry and they occupy themselves with educational issues, while at others, they ignore the initiatives and cannot be bothered to delegate. In spite of this, in these countries, this is also a clear consensus that considers reform to be necessary to adapt educational structures and school management to sustainable development and a strengthening of socio-economic conditions in the region through quality education for all. There are, we want to talk about three perspectives of school or educational reform. The technological perspective takes production as its roots, image or metaphor. Examples include concepts like input, output, specification of goals and tasks, flow diagrams, incentives, and performance assessment. How to do the job is the dominant concern. The parent discipline is economics, and the primary concern is efficacy. By the contrast, the political perspective takes negotiation as its underlying image. Key concepts include power, authority, and competing interests. The parent discipline is political science and the primary concern and legitimacy of the authority system. The third perspective is the cultural, which rests on the image of community. Central concepts include culture, values, shared meanings, and social relationships. The parent discipline is anthropology, and the primary concern cultural integrity. Whichever perspective one adopts acts as the interpretive framework for understanding change and innovation in the schools. Each perspective delineates certain factors and that is reasonable for change. By framing these educational change processes, the three perspectives serves as guides to social action. However, accepting the same perspective does not mean the scholars or reformers will do something else or necessarily agree with the one another. For example, two reformers may implicitly frame the school's problems as political, yet disagree as to whether centralization or decentralization of governing authority is needed. Ultimately, school reforms fail partly because they neglect or are not able to control the forces identified by the other perspectives. Purely technological reforms fail because they lack of adequate consideration of political and cultural factors. If we want to talk about these perspectives, as I said, there are three perspectives which are technological, political, and cultural. To conclude or to say them in brief or briefly about the technological phase, we are going to talk about production, systematic and national process, about the knowledge of techniques and outcomes, common interests, about values, about cooperation, automatic innovation, and efficacy. This is the technological aspect and or perspective. About the political perspective, we are going to talk negotiation, group conflict, compromise, about persuasion and inducement, about power and authority, about conflict over interests, cooperation, problematic, innovation in context, and legitimacy. This is about the political aspects. But about the cultural aspect, we are going to talk about interaction of cultures, value change, meaning and values, about conflict over values, about cooperation in gentemic and context, and about autonomy. These are the three aspects of or perspectives of school reform. To conclude what we said, it is no easy task to determine the extent of effectiveness of educational reforms in the world. Each country has its success and failures, or successes and failures in these reforms. Nevertheless, some efforts have been made to evaluate the outcomes of the reform internationally from a quantitative perspective. It is believed that to evaluate this process, one should start from some of the most important outcomes, starting from the goals that have been set in international accords, as well as of the main benefits of school reform, which are on a par, and the socially accepted indicators proposed by each country involved. In this scene, the agreements of 1990s um, allocated the dominant role to the primary education in the development of nations. The result obtained depend upon circumstances and difficulties faced on each continent, nevertheless, or each country. Nevertheless, the objectives drawn up in a declaration of education for all were partly fulfilled. The strengthening of on the belief that the fundamental basis for development is education is even clearer in poor countries like our country, Arab countries. In fact, in poor countries, this commitment, not all of them, but some of them or most of them are poor people. This commitment, or they do not consider the science as a mean of being success or to develop their countries. Um, in these countries or in poor countries, this commitment is still greater since of historical, cultural, political, and economic reasons. The educational reforms are so swamped in complexity that the expected benefits of achieving the goals established in the global consensus on educational is only now bearing fruit. The commitment continues, and everybody needs to make an effort. And at last, if you are a teacher, if you are a head teacher or a principal, if you want to do a school reform, there should be cooperation with all the whole members in your school or at your school. You are going to develop your staff, the teachers, that's to say the teachers, you are going to develop and reform the environment of the school. As a teacher, you are going to develop your class, to develop your students, to develop yourself there should be a class or a school reform from all sides, from all the members or aspects of school, from all the elements of the school. You are a teacher, you are going to develop yourself, you are going to update your knowledge, you are going to update yourself in many courses, in many you should be a cultural person, an open-minded person, to update your knowledge about modern methods and methodology. Also, the principal and the head teacher should look at the teaching learning process as a whole. He is going to reform the teaching learning process as a whole to develop himself, update his knowledge in management. Also, he's going to develop the school environment, the staff, the secretary in his school, all the members that are or that have been working in his school. He's going to develop them and to take one of the perspectives, or maybe to take the eclectic method by taking from each perspective, which I mentioned before, to take the most suitable perspective for himself or for his school to develop it. Thank you very much for listening, and I'm waiting for your questions. Thank you very much. Hoping you a very good day. Thanks a lot. I've finished, miss.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your rich contribution, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for our
Thank
question
you.
answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we will be back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Welcome back, ma'am. Welcome back to our participant. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. think after a wonderful presentation, our participant can understand the topic very clearly. That's why no questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value
Thanks
to
a lot.
our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable ma'am, hope to see you
Thank
again
you.
with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Honorable ma'am,
Thanks a lot. Goodbye for
welcome, ma'am.
now.
Honorable ma'am, before we go to the next, okay, ma'am.
Goodbye for now. Thank you very much.
Their IGP knowledge is for the most Their IGP knowledge is for the webinar certification. This is the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear IGP knowledge is for the webinar certification, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Certification process. Visit www.edioigp.com. Please make sure it presents on our website. Find an earning session and get enrolled. After watching Omni Part 1, move to the next relying test passing market person. Pass back to the course again to download the certificate. If fail to retake the quiz, download the certificate in PDF or GPT. For your attention, I'm going to share the procedure again. Visit www.edioigp.com. Please make sure it presents on our website. Find an earning session and get enrolled. After watching Omni Part 1, move to the next line, just passing market person. Pass back to the course again to download the certificate. If fail to retake the quiz, download the certificate in PDF or GPT. The IGP knowledge is for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. We change a few process for online quiz competition. After life, no one can participate. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Visit www.edioigp.com and sign up or sign in. Without this, you cannot join live quiz competition anymore. Browse the live quiz button and give me link. Find the session and join with the logged website or user account. Click join and wait for a few minutes for others to join and enjoy an online live quiz competition. After the quiz, we will issue certificate for top 10 as previously, which you can find on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. With 18 people, we are going to start our quiz session. The first question is, who does Coordinate calls macro at the end of Stevens reform school for Wayward Princess? Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 1 is the right answer and 3% people are right here. Our second question is, school reform includes standardized testing and school improvement goals. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 1 is the right answer. 38% people are right. Our next question is school reform. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 1 is the right answer and 100% people are right. Our next question is school is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 94% people are right. Our next question is school uniform. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 81% people are right. Our next question is school uniform. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 93% people are right. Our next question is school reform is major school-wide initiative to change curriculum, instruction, and in school organized arrangement. Is it true or false? Option 1 is the right answer. 100% people are right. Our next question is which school reform requires that school to reopen under the school management usually? Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right. Our second last question of the session is school reform could be. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 24% people are right. Our last and final question of the session is public school reform. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. So congratulations to our online quiz competition. We are top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalize the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalize the result. After that, We will issue our online quiz community certificate on official Facebook page and Google Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner, top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz community certificate on official Facebook page and Google Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly video receive. Never stop learning, cause life, never stop teaching us. Be happy, stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to go not a people or things Albert. I am extent. Before I saw hit the like button, I want to thank all our GP knowledge seekers for active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.